Women over 60. If he keeps saying these 5 things, it's your cue to walk away. Listen closely, because what I'm about to share could save you years of heartache, doubt, and wasted energy. After 60, you can't afford to overlook the warning signs in a man's words. I've spent decades studying psychology, observing relationships, and reflecting on the wisdom that age brings. And I can tell you this: there are 5 phrases a man may say that reveal his true intentions as clearly as a fire alarm in your own home. They may sound ordinary, even harmless, but in reality, they are tools of control, excuses, or quiet forms of manipulation. And here's the part most women miss. The 5th one is so subtle, so disguised, that nearly every woman I've met has overlooked it. Yet it's the one phrase that can quietly drain your peace more than all the rest. Hi, and welcome back to Journey After 60. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 specific phrases that every woman over 60 must learn to recognize. Because when a man says them, he's not just talking, he's showing you exactly who he is. And once you understand what these words really mean, you'll never waste your time or your peace on the wrong man again. Before we dive in, take a moment to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button, not just for me, but for yourself, so this kind of truth and clarity is always within reach when you need it most. And if you know another woman who might be walking blind into these traps, share this video with her. It could save her years of regret. Now, let's start with the very first phrase. It might sound simple, even harmless, but when a man says this, it tells you more about his respect or lack of it than any sweet promise ever could. Number 1. You're overreacting. By the time a woman reaches her 60s, she knows the weight of words, and few phrases cut deeper than when a man looks at your honest feelings and dismisses them with, "You're overreacting." At first, it sounds small, even careless. But the truth is, this phrase isn't about calming you down, it's about silencing you. It tells you that your perspective doesn't matter, that your emotions are exaggerated, and that the safest role you can play is quiet compliance. And once you accept that message, even once, you start teaching him that he can dismiss you again and again. A man who truly respects you doesn't try to shrink your voice. He leans in to understand it. He knows that every sigh, every pause, every sharp word carries the weight of a lifetime of wisdom and survival. To call that overreacting is to strip away your right to be heard, and no woman past 60 should ever surrender that right. This doesn't mean every disagreement is a battlefield. It means recognizing the difference between a partner who disagrees with your view and one who undermines your reality. Disagreement can build connection. Dismissal destroys it. Many women fear that walking away after hearing words like this means they'll end up alone. But being alone with dignity is far gentler than staying with someone who erodes your self-worth one sentence at a time. Real love doesn't make you doubt yourself, it makes you stand taller in your own truth. So the first warning is clear. If a man says, "You're overreacting," don't argue, don't shrink, and don't explain yourself to exhaustion. Take it for what it is, a flashing signal that he doesn't value your voice. And when your voice is lost, everything else follows. But there's another phrase even more poisonous. It doesn't just dismiss your feelings, it tries to make you believe you should be grateful for mistreatment. And when you hear it, that's your cue to walk away without hesitation. Number 2. You're lucky I'm with you. Sometimes it's not the loud insults that sting the most, it's the quiet ones, wrapped in a smile. A man may lean back, half joking, and say, "You're lucky I'm with you." On the surface, it sounds playful, maybe even flattering. But underneath, it's a chain. That phrase plants the seed that your worth depends on his presence, as if he's a prize you must cling to, rather than a partner who should earn his place in your life. And for women over 60 who've survived decades of building families, working jobs, and carrying burdens most men will never understand, hearing those words can feel like an insult, dressed as humor. The real danger isn't the phrase itself, it's what it teaches you to believe. That you're replaceable, that you should stay silent about disrespect because at least you have someone. Too many women, fearing loneliness, accept this bargain. They stay, thinking crumbs are better than nothing. But loneliness in your own home next to a man who belittles you is far heavier than the quiet of an empty room. A man who truly values you will never frame his presence as a gift you must worship. Instead, he'll treat your time, your love, and your loyalty as the treasure. He'll recognize that relationships after 60 are not about bargaining power. They are about mutual respect, companionship, and peace. The next time a man tries to remind you how lucky you are to have him, take it as a signal, not a compliment. Ask yourself honestly, does this relationship uplift me, or does it shrink me? Words like these don't come from love, they come from a desire to control. And here's the truth every woman over 60 must hold on to. You don't need to beg for worth or settle for scraps of affection. If a man speaks this way, the wisest step isn't to argue or prove him wrong, it's to quietly reclaim your power by walking away. Spend your energy where it's valued, not drained. Your years ahead are too precious to waste proving your worth to someone who never saw it in the first place. If you've ever been made to feel like someone was doing you a favor just by staying, save this video right now. One day when those words echo in your mind again, you'll want this reminder close at hand, that your worth never depends on a man who can't see it. But here's the pushback. Love after 60 isn't about luck. It's about respect that's earned on both sides. And once you see through that false idea of gratitude, the next phrase is even more dangerous because it doesn't just belittle you, it tries to make you doubt your own reality. Number 3, that never happened. One of the most damaging things a man can say isn't loud and it isn't cruel in tone. It's quiet, firm, and designed to make you question yourself. That never happened. For a woman over 60, these words hit harder than most realize. You've lived through decades of memories, raising children, working jobs, enduring struggles, and surviving heartbreaks. To have someone look you in the eye and deny your lived experience is more than disagreement. It's gaslighting, the slow erasure of your truth. When a man says, "That never happened," he isn't just rejecting a moment. He's planting a seed of doubt in your mind, hoping you'll question your own memory, your own perception, even your own sanity. That's exactly the trap, not a mistake of memory, but a strategy of control. Memory may fade with age, but dignity does not. Your truth is valid simply because you lived it. A respectful man will sit with your experience, even if his view is different. He will say, "I remember it another way, but I hear you," instead of trying to wipe it from existence. That difference matters more than most people realize, because a relationship built on denial is not a partnership, it's a prison. If you hear this phrase, resist the urge to argue yourself hoarse. You don't need to fight to prove your memory to someone who's determined to erase it. Instead, pay attention to the pattern. Does he do this often? Does he twist events to avoid responsibility or to keep you off balance? If the answer is yes, take it as your sign, not to keep defending yourself, but to start protecting yourself. At this stage of life, peace of mind is too precious to spend it convincing someone that your reality exists. A man who loves you will not need you to question your sanity to keep him close. Have you ever had someone try to deny your experience or make you feel like your memory couldn't be trusted? Share your story in the comments. Your voice matters here, and another woman might find the courage to trust her own truth by reading yours. Protecting your truth is the first step. The next is protecting your peace. Some men won't argue about what happened. They'll make you anxious about what could happen. That fear isn't love, and it's our cue to move. Number 4. The threat of abandonment. Fear as a cage. Not every form of control comes through denial or dismissal. Sometimes it arrives wrapped in fear. It may not even sound harsh, just a quiet suggestion, an insinuation that without him, you'll be left with nothing. At this stage of life, when loneliness is already a shadow many women fear, those words can strike deeper than any insult. I've seen too many women, even strong ones, stay in unhealthy relationships simply because they were told, directly or indirectly, that no one else would stand by them. The fear of being left alone can feel heavier than the disrespect itself. And that's exactly the trap, convincing you that his presence, no matter how destructive, is better than facing your days without him. But let's pause and be honest. After 60, you already know what true solitude feels like, and you've also tasted the freedom that comes with it. Being alone may be quiet, but it is never as suffocating as lying next to someone who makes you feel invisible. Loneliness in an empty house is survivable. Loneliness in a shared bed can break you. A man who loves you will never weaponize your fears. He will reassure, not intimidate. He will remind you of your worth, not make you question if you have any. And if he uses the threat of abandonment to keep you compliant, he's not a partner, he's a captor. When you hear words that spark fear instead of peace, step back and ask yourself, am I staying because of love or because of the terror of being alone? If it's the latter, walking away is not a loss, it's liberation. At this age, you don't need chains disguised as companionship. You need the kind of presence that brings calm, laughter, and dignity. Anything less isn't love, it's fear disguised as loyalty. And no woman in her golden years should ever mistake one for the other. At the end of these 4 warnings, the message is simple but powerful. Love after 60 isn't about ignoring red flags, it's about having the wisdom to walk away from them. Every phrase we've explored is not just a set of words, it's a reflection of whether a man values your truth, your peace, and your dignity. And if he doesn't, the bravest act is not to stay and fight, but to protect your spirit by leaving. Because in this season of life, your greatest strength is no longer in how much you endure, but in what you refuse to tolerate. True love doesn't silence, belittle, or frighten you. It steadies you, respects you, and helps you breathe easier. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That wisdom applies here. You can't control what a man chooses to say, but you can always choose how much space you give his words in your life. So if this video resonated with you, don't hesitate to like it. Subscribe to Journey After 60 and save it as a reminder that your worth is not negotiable. And I'd love to hear from you. Share in the comments a time when you recognized a red flag in someone's words and chose to honor your dignity instead. Until we meet again, may you walk with clarity, choose peace over fear, and welcome only the kind of love that uplifts your golden years. Thanks for watching my video, and see you next time.